Hello everyone, welcome to Sid-FM. You're here with me, Aisha, Kunje, and my co-host Sid Morris. And let me welcome you to a new program called Matin. So Matin is a program whereby we'll be talking about life experiences that you went through as a teenager or that you're going through as a teenager. So you just tell us what happened to you and what lessons you learned from them. These experiences might either be good or bad, because it's not always that you can face something good and it's not always that you can face something bad. So you tell us and what lessons you learned from them. So if you're interested in sharing your story, please hit us up on Facebook at Sid Short Stories Malawi and we'll discuss the rest there. So here you just be narrating the experiences and the lessons that you learned, or if you cannot be able to narrate it yourself, we'll narrate it for you. So let's listen to some of the experiences that our friends went through.
You're listening to Matin on Sid-FM.
Okay, so let me read out something that Frank wrote. Frank is a young man aged 20. He's the second born in a family with 5 kids, 3 boys and 2 girls. He stays at Hilltop in Zuzu. Currently, he's a student. So Frank says, growing up in an urban setting, I cannot deny I faced some challenges, especially at adolescent stage. Peer pressure being the central challenge. Muziwa in the way boys old mafuna to satisfanga zofanana. So kakuti zinasuku ziziwanza kwa mafuna kupangi kuti ukhale mjomwe iwo ali. So for example, if you're unable to propose, umaoneka ngati swazi. Or let me say, gabe. Nthawi zina amakufusilira nkumene. I remember one time natawaba mkazi. So to cope up with peer pressure, what I did was to understand myself in a way that we all can't be equal. We have different lives. So I had to tell them in a polite way as my friends would agree. Would I feels me so I. Lessons learned at stage 1 is self-knowledge. Muntu enela kuziziwa weka. Who am I? Where do I come from? What's my goal in life? What is my conscience? Zimene zimathandiza kukhala ineyo kusatengera anthu omwe ndimayenda nawo. Another one is self-control. It's not everything that you have to do in life. Zina umangoeneka uzisiya kapena zina zimakhala ndi nyengo. Adolescence is a stage and it's like you're standing at a crossroad. For you to cross to the other side, umayenera kuona momwe magalimoto akuyendera. In short, let me just say it's self-discovery stage. So my fellow members, let's take care. We're responsible for our bright future.
You're listening to Matin on Sid-FM.
My name is Martha Mbewe. I'm now staying in Kalunga, but I'm based in Zuzu. There are so many challenges that I faced during the teenage years, but I'll share 2. The first challenge was negative attitude towards me when people see me interacting with male friends. The way I was raised a life where I could only interact with female friends. But when I reached Form 1, I started interacting with male friends. So this interaction brought a lot of negative attitude to me. That is, some people could think like the male friends, maybe there is something conspiring between us, and that problem continued. Some people could go to my parents and say, we saw your child with a boyfriend, which also brought some doubt in the lives of my parents. Sometimes my parents could restrict me from going to chat with friends just because people were coming with bad reports to them. These challenges, it was a burden to me, because you can imagine being a life where you are restricted from chatting with friends just because people bring false stories about you. It was really a challenge to me. Whenever there is a challenge, there is need for a solution. I had to cope with these challenges. The first way was by being involved in clubs like Young Life clubs, where we could learn on how to handle issues. For example, my own problem. I learned from Young Life that the challenge that I was facing, it was a minor one and I could deal with it. They could teach us that we have to be examples to our parents, and we have to portray good behavior to them so that they don't doubt us. Whenever people come with false stories, our parents should still stand that whatever those people are saying is not true. My teenage years taught me a lot. Just to share two, the first lesson was patience. I was taught how to be patient when things happen. When such issues like people going to my parents to say false things about me happen, I could exercise patience. And the other thing is perseverance. When people say bad about me, I could not react immediate, but I could think why all these things are happening, and I could persevere. Motivational words to the youth out there is that challenges are there to make us and not to destroy us. Whatever challenges we face in life, they are there to give us skills on how we can handle issues. No matter how big the challenge can be, but see it as a minor challenge. The more you face challenges, the more you know how to handle issues. And the other thing is about knowing oneself, just knowing who you are, that's all.
Okay, so those are the two experiences that we had in this episode of Martin. The first one was from Frank and the other one was from Martha. Though the one from Frank, I had to read it out because he couldn't narrate it himself. So let's analyze it and see what we have learned from those two experiences. So please, Maurice, tell us, what did you learn from this experience? Like, what are your comments or thoughts on the experiences that Frank had faced in his teenagehood?
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, let me thank you, Frank, for sharing your experience. It was quite a good experience because I think he emphasized on a number of points that I agree with. First and foremost, he talked about his challenge, the challenge that he faced. He talked of peer pressure, and this is something that many teenagers can relate to. When you're a teenager, there's always that urge to do what your friends or your peers are doing, simply because you want to fit in. So he talked about that, but I also liked the way he addressed that challenge in his own life, because he said he was able to know exactly what he wanted in life, and he was able to stick to that. So he was able to say no to some things because he knew exactly what he wanted. So he stressed out the importance of self-awareness or self-knowledge, as he put it. Kunena kuti munthu kuyenera uziziwa bwino wekha. Ngati ukuziziwa bwino wekha, chimene ukufuna zingakhale zovuta kuti mwina usokonekere ndikulowelera mu zinthu zina zimene anthu ena akupanga. So I liked that part kwambiri. I liked the experience. Kaya iweyo nzanga, waona mozotani? What can you say about his experience?
Okay, from Frank's experience, I like the way he abstained from everything. Like, anazigana kutali, and he understood himself kuti ineyo, I should know what I want. I should know where to go about with my problems. I should know how to talk to my friends, because they want to talk to their friends about the issues. For mama and Kula Mosa Kalabudo, in the end, they end up not being friends. So it's important to have friends. You shouldn't have friends because you're trying to abstain. But then he had a way of telling my friends I go feel bad. Someone is on or something. So he said, he needs easier. So I really like that part, and he knew himself. That's good for him.
You're listening to Martin on Sid-FM.
We also had another experience from Martha where she told us what was going on with her life. So Maurice, about this experience, what do you think about it? Like, what are also your comments on Martha's experience?
Yeah, so Martha and Aisha, she shared a good experience. I think the challenge that she faced kwambiri anakamba zonna kuti anthu amaganiza zolakwika, because she started interacting with male friends, and so people had this thinking kunena kuti mwina there was something that was going on between them. That's how most of the people think these days. If you're interacting with someone who is of the opposite gender, maybe there's something between you guys, but sometimes it's matter to take and interact. But I liked the way she handled those challenges in her life. She talked of she joined some clubs, so I liked kwambiri the part where she said she strived kunena kuti akhale mwana wabwino, akhale munthu kuti makolo ake akuziwana nawo bwino. So zimene zinthu zofunika kwambiri, because ngati makolo ako akuziwana nawo bwino, anafotokoza zona kuti ngati makolo ako akukuziwa bwino ola anthu ena atate abwera pambali ndikufotokoza kuti mwana wanu wapanga zakuti koma ngati makolo aja mmaziona bwino mmakhulupirirana ndiwe chitsanzo chabwino sangakayikire sangakhulupirire mwawambawamba zimene anthu enawo akunena. So I think it's a good lesson kuti as a teenager you're supposed to have that good relationship with your parents. They're supposed to know you in and out kuti mwana wanga akhoza kupanga izi mwana wanga sangapange zimenezi. Ndithu kaiwe nzanga unaona zotani? What are your comments? What are your thoughts on her experience?
I really like the way she handled the situation, because antumabuya and maboza and parents hearing stuff like that, it can really disturb you. Like, people take it as a simple issue, it happens, but it's something big that can affect you, Kwambili. But the way she dealt with it, found and hobudi azibanga associate now aziphunzisana, and she should be calm and patient, she should be close to her parents. That was a good strategy, because anakama twina nakangot let me just do zinto zokuthi zizigwezana ndizomntu amanamizira sikula kamakanina zizikhazona. But no, she didn't do that. She kept her morals, she kept her values intact and found a way to deal with it. So I really like that part. Yeah, it was good for her, and I've learned something also. I've grasped something. It's not easy to deal with some challenges like that.
You're listening to Matin on Sid-FM.
That's the end of today's episode of Matin. I'd like to thank each one of you for being part of today's episode, and I would like to encourage you to stay there because we have a lot of experiences to share with you. So please stay tuned for more experiences. As I have already said, if you want to share your experiences, you can hit us up on Facebook at Sid-Studios Malawi, and then we'll discuss the rest there. So you can tell us about your experience, and we can also learn from what you faced, so that we should never repeat the same mistake again as you did. Or we should be happy the way you were happy when you were going through whatever was going on in your life. This is our YouTube channel, so please subscribe, like, and share. We also have a TikTok account at Sid Poetry Malawi. Please go follow us, and go follow us on Facebook at Sid Short Stories, where stories and poems reign. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, bye for now.